A very good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls. Thank you so very much for tuning into the Life Signatures Radio. This is a daily podcast that is focused on the subjects of purpose, productivity, and resilience, three important pillars of life that anyone who wants to succeed and wants to have a life of fulfillment and impact and contribution should look at. You should have a life that has direction, and every one of us has been meant and designed to have that kind of a life. We should be productive. We should look forward to be producing every single day, and we live in a dark and fallen world. Every time we go down, we need to find means to rise back up again. That's what humanity is all about. It's about purpose, it's about productivity, and it's about resilience. Right now, we are in the middle of a series. We've been talking about spirit. Yesterday we started talking about another section of that angle, which is 4 ways of infusing spirit into your pursuits. And today I'm just going to start doubling down on those 4 ways. How do we infuse spirit into our pursuits? Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Life Signatures podcast with Lawrence Namale. Lawrence is a life coach, author, and keynote speaker who loves to tackle different topics on purpose, productivity, and resilience. His mission in life is to awaken all your boundless possibilities available in you. Life Signatures podcast is dedicated to bring to reality every single person who knows that deep down in their gut, there's got to be more to life than this. And now, here is your host, Lawrence Namale.
So we explained this yesterday, that the source of everything that is living, everything that is alive, is a spirit. The source of who you are as an individual is the spirit. Whether you are a religious person or you are irreligious, it is immaterial. It doesn't matter. Every human being, the source of their existence is spirit. The reason of the things we do, the reason behind the things we do is spirit. Some of us would belong to countries, and the countries that we belong to can be identified by a particular spirit. The human race is identified by spirit, and therefore everything that we do, especially if we have organizations and maybe we have pursuits, whether they are jobs or whatever it is, there is a spirit behind it. And if you remove spirit from our pursuits or from our identity as human beings, then life comes to a standstill, life comes to disintegration at the end of the day. So if you approach this message from the angle of an organization, an institution, whatever it is, even if you remember those of you who went to high school, there was something about your high school. There was something about the spirit behind your high school. There was something about your drama club, even in high school. There's something about your club, your society, your Rotary Club. You know, there's something about your Lions Club. There's something about the vicinity in your village. There is something about your community that you belong to. It is spirit. When we remove these elements of spirit, these are fundamental basics. If you remove the fundamental basic, if you look at your marriage, there is spirit behind it. Either it's there or it's not. And anything that is going to trouble that particular marriage will first of all trouble the spirit. The union, the spirit behind the union will be troubled first before it comes to a standstill. Therefore, the matters relating to spirit are paramount, and we need to really take a look at them. So the question is, how do we infuse spirit? How do we infuse spirit? Yesterday we said the spirit is not detached from us. It is part and parcel of what we do. We don't appease spirits. Okay, people normally do that, but that's not advisable. Spirit is part and parcel of who we are and what we do. Let us consider several ways that we can use to infuse spirit in our plans, in our pursuits, in our purposes, in our crafts, in our careers, in our projects, in our professional endeavors, in our organizations, in our companies, in our clubs, in our belongings, whatever it is. The first thing, this is very important. This is the very bare basic. I don't know if I'll finish talking about this today, but the very bare basic is we've got to clarify the spirit behind the pursuit. There's some years back I was engaged in a group of guys who were a startup really, and they were trying to come up with stuff and so on. And I remember we were brainstorming over something, and they kept going and going and going and going, and then I just stopped the discussion and I posed a question that looked to them an absolutely stupid question. The question was simply this: why are we doing this? Instead of guys going deeper into that particular question and brainstorming about it, you know what they did? They laughed at me. And I felt so very uncomfortable. I couldn't continue the conversation. I actually edged away from them. I just moved away from them and left them to continue discussing. Long story short, they never lasted. What is my point? My point is you cannot continue having actions when you've not clarified why you're having the actions. Why are you taking the actions? Why are you involved in what you're involved in the first place? Clarify what is the spirit behind what we're doing. Why are we doing what we're doing? That's the clarity that we need to have. And by the way, when that clarity comes to pass, when we are absolutely clear of what we want, it informs quite a lot of things. It informs who is with us. It informs the extent to which we are able or we are willing to push, we are willing to go. It informs what kind of resources that we need to be able to bring this to pass. It informs how long we're going to stay together. But when we don't have clarity of what the spirit is behind what we're doing, we don't even need to get started. It must sound a little bit cliche, but it is true. The simple question is this: why are we doing the things we're doing? Why are we engaged in those things? Why are you podcasting, Lawrence? Why are you listening to this podcast if you've listened this far? Why? We are all, we come from different backgrounds and we all have reasons why we're doing what we're doing. And here is the litmus test of the spirit though. This is it. Is the reason for doing what we are doing, is the reason for doing what you're doing anyway connected to the spirit? Is it? How would I know that? Someone might ask. How would I know if what I'm doing? That's why we are here. That's why we've been discussing all these things. Here are some pointers that I'm going to give you. How would you know that whatever I'm doing is connected to the spirit? Number one, is what we are doing, is what we are engaged in primarily beneficial to others? And that's what I'm going to stop with, and then tomorrow we're going to look at others. Is it primarily about others? You know why I'm saying that? I'm saying that because spirit always centrally has the benefit of other people in mind. All the time. It always has the benefit of other people in mind. And I'm not saying that we should not do things that are benefiting ourselves. I'm not saying that we should not do things that where we draw benefit. They are there. But we're answering the question, how would I know that the reason behind doing what I'm doing is connected to the spirit? And the answer is, it's gotta be directly or indirectly, at the end of the day, resulting into somebody else benefiting, not just you. That is, it is larger than life. Primarily, someone else has got a benefit. So if I'm doing this podcast, I'm not just doing this podcast so that I can get to 2,000 episodes in 2024, which, God willing, is going to be a reality. I'm doing this so that people can be inspired. I'm doing this so that people can be motivated. I'm doing this so that people can have knowledge and understanding of their purpose, of the direction their lives are taking, of their productivity in this life, and they can have some tools. They can retool in order to be resilient. So it is about other people. If it is about other people and their benefit, you can be sure that spirit is involved. But the opposite is also true, or the opposite could be true. In other words, if it's not about other people, if not other people are going to benefit, chances are, let me not just give it a blanket, but let me say chances are that spirit might not be involved in it. If you do any research on matters related to spirit, it is always about others. And that's why, by the way, all the fakest religious leaders out there, or the fakest religious leaders who are trying to, you will know them easily by this. Are they the ones benefiting from whatever they are doing, or primarily are other people benefiting? Are they toiling for the sake of other people to benefit? It's the simplest litmus test you can be able to give to the spirit. It is always never selfish. It is always selfless. Tomorrow we're going to look at something else. How would you know that what you're engaged in is rooted in spirit? Until then, bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Life Signatures Radio. If you enjoyed today's show, subscribe to Life Signatures Radio on iTunes, Stitcher, or visit our website at lifesignatures.libsyn.com. Life Signatures Radio, fresh, clean, and inspiring.